Hey y'all, Dylan the Robot Dragon Studios here. Now, you may remember I had a series called Dylan's Thought, Robo Dylan's Thoughts. Well, since I'm Dylan the Robot Dragon Studios, it's Dylan's Thoughts. Yeah, so this is going to be a new series where basically I just, you know, because, yeah, because I don't really have new people to talk to. So that whenever people are busy, I can make videos like these to release my thoughts out. But don't worry, just like that last video that got uploaded a few months back, I won't be too serious. I'll just give my thoughts on things that aren't too serious to my life and stuff. More general things. Yeah. Although, granted, if it's an issue, like a political issue or something like that, or an unpopular opinion, I will talk about certain things. But, just not things that will personally, like that last video, which everything is true. I will not, uh, say that stuff to get the video deleted. Yeah. Yeah. So, what am I going to talk about today? I'm gonna be recently I went to go see Lilo and Stitch, the live action remake. Mm. Yeah, and it was a good movie, but it actually brings up a bigger discussion because it was okay. Like there was nothing wrong with it, but like something that I learned, well not learned, but something that I think is that great art should have a purpose. Like, now, personally, my favorite kind of art is stuff that has philosophical themes, something that challenges my brain. That's nice, but it doesn't need to do that. As long as it has something like a reason to exist. Yeah, and that's kind of the not just Lilo and Stitch, but these live action remakes, they don't really have much of a reason to exist. They're basically the same movies, just just a few minor tweaks made, and then like maybe a few minor changes to the story, like how in the new Lilo and Stitch, uh, Gantu wasn't the in the movie; it was Jumba. But besides that, there or like in the new Snow White, the seven dwarves are in CGI, but usually there's not that many changes. Yeah. hmm Yeah. Now, me personally, like, I'm not like other artists where it needs to have a deep philosophical reason to exist. And I'm not saying that remakes are bad on their own. They just, at the very least, they need to add something new to the experience. Like Super Mario 64 DS, for example. That added Yoshi, Wario, and Luigi. And and it added 30 new stars from 120 from the 64 version to 150 stars in the DS version. So, yeah, so that game had a reason to exist. Its reason was to add more playability to Mario 64. Yeah, yeah. And usually what I think to good art, like if you want to make good art, the reason's got to be a good reason. And it can't just be to make money or to become famous. Like, there are good examples, like Hi Hi Puffy Ami Yumi, or, or other ones like Hammerman, or, or like Class 3000, or like any other or like the Slim Shady Show, or any other celebrity based cartoons. But usually, unless they're like Hi Hi Puffy Yumi, well, unless they're like unless they're like something like Hi Hi Puffy Yumi or Class 3000, usually most, like, I personally like those shows, but critically, usually it's a big risk. Like, personally, I like most of the celebrity based shows that I've seen, including Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids, but yeah, or Little Bill, which are both based off of Bill Cosby. But yeah. But like, mm, yeah, because this is what some people do. They think because they have a celebrity, they don't, it's an automatic money and they don't have to try as hard. Granted, some people do, but usually, especially if they're a greedy CEO, they're not usually thinking like that. They're just thinking, like, like that one song, money, money, mo- just money, money, money. But, yeah. Mhm. Mm, yeah. Hmm. Yeah, and I also have seen some of the other live action remakes, like The Little Mermaid, that was good. Like, that actually had a purpose to exist. That one, and same with the Ariel show on Disney Junior, that has Ariel as black. Well, it's not much of a difference. It's at least some reason to exist. It's not just a shot for shot remake. There are at least some aspects about it changed. Like, and yeah, that's why I agree with him. If you're not gonna change the movie, at least have, like, if you're not gonna add upon it, at least have some kind of change. Because if it's not change, you're just making the same movie except live action, or just remaking it with different animation, or what, like, just remaking it just for the sake of remaking it. Mhm. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, and I also have seen some episodes of Lilo and Stitch the series, in Lilo and Stitch, Lilo and Stitch 2, Stitch Has a Glitch, and the two movies tied the series, Leroy and Stitch and Stitch the movie. They were good. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, and there were some differences that I actually liked. For example, like, there wasn't just the Bubbles guy, the FBI Cobra Bubbles. There was also this lady, which was also the social worker, which that was interesting, but it wasn't really that much of a difference. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. I think I actually do. Yeah. I'm gonna start making this a series. Now, granted, Dylan the Robot Dragon, Dylan's Thoughts won't be a series that'll be like on a schedule. 'Cause me personally, I don't like schedules, and for my feelings to feel thoughts to feel natural, I'll only be making these when I decide to, when I find something to talk about, and I'll talk about it here. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and also, speaking of remakes that don't have a point, Mario 3D All Stars. Granted, it's good. It's got Mario Galaxy, Sunshine, and the original 64 game all in one game. But there's a problem. It's just the same game. There's nothing added. Sure, there's soundtracks, but the soundtracks you can listen to in the game. Yeah. And also with the 64 version, Nintendo Switch Online, you can play Mario 64 on Nintendo Switch Online. So the 64 one, if you have Nintendo Switch Online, is not really much of a purpose. And I know what y'all are gonna say, if y'all know about GameCube games, well, this game came out in 2020 to celebrate Mario's 35th anniversary. So that argument doesn't really work because I highly doubt they were working on all that Switch 2 stuff way before way before like way back in 2020. Yeah. Mhm. Mm. But I'm just thinking if I got anything else to say. But yeah, that's what I just wanted to say. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and just like and subscribe and tell your thoughts on the stuff that I talked about in this. Talk your thoughts on my videos and the stuff that I talked about, like the Lilo and Stitch movie or other stuff. Yeah, yeah, just yeah, like and subscribe, and don't forget to comment your thoughts on the video and stuff that I talked about. This is Dylan the Robot Dragon of Dylan the Robot Dragon Studios. Bye.